I like conservatives. I like hanging out with conservatives. I like debating conservatives. I never find a rude conservative. It's almost impossible to find. I get nothing but love from conservatives.
I'm Dave Rubin and I love lamp. So Dave Rubin, speaking to Candace Owens, wanted to make a point about how, as a gay man who doesn't like identity politics, he just wants to declare that the right wing is far more tolerant toward him than the left wing, completely leaving out of the discussion, of course, that red states have passed legislation essentially targeting the LGBTQ community. But nonetheless, let's hear more of what he has to say, and then we'll debunk more of it.
I spoke at Liberty University, the largest evangelical conservative Christian college in America. I spoke in front of 14,000 people. You've done the exact same gig. These people know my views. They know I'm married to a man. I got a standing ovation. They couldn't have been nicer. I wandered around campus for a couple hours, people coming up to me saying all sorts of nice things. By the way, some people did come up to me and say, I'm praying for you. And I don't know if they meant that I'm praying for you, meaning I'm trying to pray the gay away, or I'm just praying like your continued success or whatever, but it would almost be irrelevant to me. Even if someone,
I'm praying the gay away, well, that's not offensive. If they're not saying I'm gonna, come
club you over the head.
Yeah. We're gonna put you somewhere you shouldn't be. I'm praying for you.
And by the way,
okay, I can deal with that.
Someone that comes up to you with a smile on their face and says a bunch of nice things and then says, and I'm praying for you.
Right.
That's actually a lot nicer than a progressive who will scream all day how much they love gay people and then will unleash endless hate on me because I don't bow to them.
Here's what, and I'm only speaking for myself here, I have zero respect for, okay? Passive aggressiveness. I like aggressive aggressiveness. So if you got something to say it. I pray for you is a passive aggressive way of telling Dave Rubin and anyone else who's gay that they're unacceptable, that they're gonna burn in hell. And therefore, they're praying for the gay individual to maybe have a come to Jesus moment. I don't know. Obviously, you can't pray the gay away. You can't electroshock therapy the gay away, which right wingers are huge supporters of, by the way. And like the idea that somehow conservatives who were vicious to Dave Rubin and his husband after they announced that they would be having 2 children via surrogates, like the idea that he is now making that point, it's just like, is the money worth it? And for Dave Rubin, I guess it is. I mean, homeboy moved to Florida that passed the don't say gay bill.
Yeah.
It is amazing how much this man will humiliate himself on a regular basis for the money. And I just don't understand that mentality. I don't.
Yeah, so Dave is among the more accidentally funny people, almost never intentionally. I've literally never heard him say something funny that he meant to say as funny, but accidentally all the time. He's like, I've never met a rude conservative. Donald Trump?
No, Jake, we'll refresh his memory. Because he talked about giving a speech at Liberty University and they were so nice. He also gave a speech at Turning Point USA, one of their conferences. And he was asked an interesting question by one of the conservative conference goers. Let's take a quick look at that. And sorry to interrupt you, but I think it's relevant to what you were saying. Let's watch.
If I may ask this, are you gay? I heard you were gay. Now,
my husband's gay.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, but this is the reason why I ask.
Yeah.
As I'm a Christian, and one thing that really draws me to conservatism is seeing the Christian foundations for this nation, how our rights are given from God, not from government.
You are absolutely entitled to your own personal religious beliefs as everyone else is. I would say, and maybe this is a little more of the libertarian side of me, but I think this is totally congruent with the founders. You want to have room for the other people. And if they live in a way that is honest and decent and defends their love of country and does all of the things that are probably pretty freaking close to the way you live, then that is an extraordinary country.
Yeah, Dave, but since you're gay, right wingers don't see you as a decent, honest person. They see you as one of the others, someone who will burn in eternal damnation because you're gay. He knows this, he knows it, but he's paid to pretend like he doesn't know it.
Yeah, and of course, when they use surrogates to have kids, the right wing attacked him viciously. What do you mean you've never met a rude conservative? It's absurd. That guy just questioned your entire existence. And what was your answer? You guys heard him with your own ears right there. He said, you have to make room for the other people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How generous of the owners of this country, straight people, to make room for the others, the gay people. Or white people making room for the slaves that they kidnapped and brought over here, the other people, let alone all the other minorities, etc. And look at the mindset. It's a perfect Uncle Tom mindset. And why did you get a standing ovation at Liberty University, David? Because you told them they were right. You told them they were right about their hatred. You told them that they were right about every part of their ideology. So they're like, look, we got the gay guy to say what we want. Standing ovation, way to go, monkey. Say it again, monkey. Play the organ, okay, play it. Okay, that's what they use you for. It's so sad.
2 babies are on the way. Those are ultrasounds, what you're seeing over there. Yeah.
All right, well, this next story is uncomfortable. Not because Dave Rubin and his husband are expecting children. I think that's totally fine. I have no problem with that, but it's all the chatter surrounding it. So Dave Rubin announced very recently that he and his husband will be having 2 children via surrogates. So there are 2 surrogates, and the right-wing audience that he has cultivated for himself is just as cruel as you would expect them to be. Now, again, the entire story is uncomfortable for me. I know a lot of people have been enjoying the chatter online, but it makes me uncomfortable. In fact, it was uncomfortable from the very start when Rubin not only felt the need to make this announcement on his show, but went on to explain how the process works to his notably anti-gay audience. Let's watch.
I know most of you guys that are watching this are now on the more conservative side of things, and I never see any real issue with conservatives anymore and gay people. But I know this is like a little bit weird for some people to hear, right? I get it. And by the way, to me, at some level, this is a little bit weird. Like I've had to learn a lot of stuff and go to a lot of doctors, and it's cost a lot of money, and it's been a long sort of adventure. But basically what you're seeing there, one more time with those ultrasounds, would you? Those are 2 different wombs, and those are 2 different babies. We got 1 egg donor, so you got to think about this. If you need to stop right now and grab a Sharpie and make a chart, you could. So basically, we've got plenty of sperm around here. That's one thing, right? So there's a lot. I'm just saying, there's a lot of sperm. We didn't have a shortage of sperm, so we've got sperm. So we had half the battle, right? We had half of what we needed, but we needed an egg. Our feeling was that we wanted 1 egg donor, meaning you get a whole bunch of eggs. Well, hopefully you get a whole bunch of eggs from the egg donor. And then we would take several, we'd split the eggs. So let's say you got, I think the first time around we got like 18 eggs. And then you take the sperm, we would split them. So now there's like 9 and 9. I'm giving you the rough estimates here. And you would then inseminate them. And then you hopefully from that, some of it takes, some of it doesn't take. But then in essence, you have these embryos, and then you need surrogates. So the surrogate obviously is the woman who then carries the child.
Listen, it's one thing to make the announcement. It's risky to make an announcement like that. Again, when you've cultivated a right-wing, pretty anti-gay audience, especially with the backdrop of all of the anti-gay, anti-transgender, anti-whatever legislation that's happening on a state-by-state basis. All these red states are like fully engaged in the culture wars. So on one hand, I kind of understand why he's kind of like, he seems terrified in making this announcement, and I get why, but just make the announcement and move on. Like if you feel the need to explain it to your audience, I'm trying to be polite here, just don't talk about how there's plenty of sperm in your house. Like it's just, look, it's not even for me. Like I don't want to hear about it, right? But anyway, he seemed nervous, and he had good reason to be, because his audience was incredibly cruel. And while some on the left are kind of gloating about it because it's like, karma, you get what you deserve, it makes me really sad. Like this whole story makes me really, really sad, because at the end of the day, whatever you think about Dave Rubin, put that aside. he's surrounded with people who think he's like this terrible person, this sinner. And it's one thing for him to take that heat, but I don't want kids to be around that. That makes me really sad. And this should be a moment where, two people celebrate expanding their family. But again, and yes, he did this to himself. He's surrounded by people who write comments like this. So I went to the video where he makes the announcement, and I just decided to grab the top comments, okay? These are the first comments that you see. So unbelievably selfish to bring children into the world, denying them a mother. Children are not just something you pay for to fulfill some desire you have. They are a gift, and you are absolutely not in a relationship that is conducive to this gift. I am so disappointed. I had such respect for you. Well, Jane, I never had respect for you, and you don't deserve respect. What a hateful, disgusting comment to put on someone's video. But this isn't surprising. And by the way, you know what a child needs? A child needs love, okay? A child needs support, a child needs love. I have, despite whatever feelings I have toward Dave, I have no doubt that they would be loving, and I think he'd be a good parent. I just hope he keeps his children away from these types of people, because I would hate to hear that their children are in an environment where they're absorbing this kind of commentary.